Okay, so hello again. I am back with yet another video. So if you guys haven't noticed, I have been uploading pretty inconsistently, usually months at a time, because right now I'm focusing on making videos about school stuff. So when I'm going through the semester, I don't really have anything to share with you. Only when the end of the semester is done, and then you can see my grade in the class. So I took an online class for the first time since I graduated high school, and this is how I did. So I got a 96.33% in the class. I didn't do good on all the assignments, right? 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 7 out of 10, but most of them I did good on. And my final exam, which I took July 28th, which is 3 days ago from when this vid is posted, 4 days ago, I believe, actually. I got a 96% on that exam. And if you pop this up, it says, excellent work. Please see the comments I've placed. The issues with the spreadsheet were small. So this is my final exam right here, PAT. So pretty cool, pretty awesome. I'm going to share with you what I did to ace an online class. I was very scared of it, very scared, because it's been so long. So part of online and why it's difficult is because when you're in an in-person class, right, the teacher feeds you that information and then you interpret it and you learn it and then you apply it. Whereas online classes, you have to feed yourself that information first. So half of it is getting fed the information, the other half is actually learning it and applying it. So class in person is easier because, for me at least, because you're getting fed that information, right? You're getting fed the information. Let me reword that. You're getting fed from information from a qualified individual, right? A licensed and qualified individual, meaning they know how to feed you the information so you understand it, right? You can take notes. You can do a ton of stuff. You can get your questions answered right then and there. Whereas online, you have to email the teacher because I'm online. I'm going through, this is a summer class, an 8-week summer course. So she didn't have office hours in person because it's summer, right? It's all online. So it was pretty difficult getting into the rhythm of that. It's way different. Online classes are way different than in person because you have to feed yourself that information. You don't have a licensed, qualified individual feeding you the information. You're feeding yourself the information first, and then you are actually taking that and applying it to the assignments, to tests, to quizzes. So because of that, it's actually double the work. Okay, it's double the work. So when you're in class in person for 2 hours, you have to do that. If it's online, you have to feed yourself that information, and there's nobody guiding you. You have to do it yourself. It's difficult. Okay, it's difficult. But I got a 96%. And let me tell you, I busted my balls doing this. It was not easy. Okay, I stayed up pretty late. You can go at your own pace, which is pretty nice. So I'm going to explain just what I did here. And of course, chatty here. I got a 96.33. What did I do? Consistent practice. I practiced Excel functions and formulas regularly. I kind of think that it's weird that it's wording it in first person, but that's okay. Not just before exams or assignments, right? I mean, it builds off of itself. The problem with online classes is they build off of themselves. It's not like in person where you can access any information at any time, right? Everything builds. So in order to go to a previous section, you have to click through a ton of stuff to find exactly what you need to learn. It takes more time. Whereas in person you can just look at your notes or something. Whereas online they have modules. I mean, it's just a different presentation that I'm not used to, right? So hands-on repetition helped me really understand and the features. Yeah, oh my goodness, conditional formatting, absolute cell values too. Since I took my online Microsoft Excel class, I struggled with functions. And I actually got 2 points off from that. But you just gotta keep focusing, right? You gotta keep, honestly, you gotta stay on top of it every day. It's not like in person where you can wait like a day and then go look at your notes and then, you know what I mean, and then just go back at it. You have to literally babysit yourself and make sure that you are just, you got to be paranoid, honestly. I hate to say that, but you have to be paranoid. You have to literally throw yourself into this stuff. The more rusty you are, the more practice you need. And so I would practice every day. Before work, I would practice every day. And I'm working full time too. I'm scheduled 40 hours a week. So there's that. It sucks. It really sucks. But hey, you can do it. You just have to do these things, right? Paid close attention to assignments. I carefully read all instructions and completed every assignment on time. Most instructors have a rubric. It tells you what you need to do. They're literally giving you the prompt and they're not giving you the answers, obviously, but they're giving you the process of how to do it. So you're not walking around in the dark trying to figure this out, right? You just, okay, the rubric says this, this, and this. Let me make sure I have that. And then if you don't, that's where number one comes into place. You practice, right? You double check my work. I triple checked, quadruple checked, because if you miss points, that stuff adds up. I mean, I'm at a 96%. And I got a 6 out of 10, a 7 out of 10, and then a 9 out of 10. I got a 99.4% on one. So that stuff definitely adds up over time, right? Use online resources, watch tutorials. If I got stuck, I searched for quick answers. Well, right, so for me, I would email my instructor and be like, hey, every single time I start a class, I open an email direct message to my instructors. So I'm taking 3 classes next semester, right? Then I'm going to have 3 emails. If you're taking 4 classes, if I'm taking 4 classes, I'm taking 4, making 4 different emails for each of them. You got to do it. You have to pay attention not only to assignments, but also if you don't know something, you can't just put it off. You have to continuously focus on it and make sure that you were doing it to the best of your ability, because online doesn't slow down. You go at your own pace. So if you go too fast at first, you're going to have trouble, and then you have to literally go back. It's not like in person where you can rely on the teacher, right, to help you out. You are literally doing this on your own. Used online resources, yep, took notes and made cheat sheets. Absolutely. Let me tell you. So when I had a spreadsheet actually in Excel, and I would jot down how to do stuff. It's basically my own online notes. And so I would rely on that. And if I couldn't figure it out still, I would go back in the modules. And if I couldn't figure it out then, I would email my instructor. Ask questions when needed. Exactly. Don't hesitate to message your instructor for clarification. Because you got to understand, instructors care. Okay, they do. I love going to CBTC. It's great. The instructors are awesome. The faculty are awesome, but the only reason why they're going out on a limb for me is because I care too, right? Think about it. If you have a coworker and they just don't care, are you gonna want to put time in for them? No, right? You have to show initiative. If you ask, hey, blah blah blah, whatever instructor you have for your class, hey, I'm kind of confused on this. Can you help? They see that you're trying. And honestly, in my opinion, if you try, I'll work with you. If you don't try, I'm not going to want to work with you. Why would I want to work with you if you don't put in the effort, right? So if you're being proactive, right, and you're messaging your instructor and you actually care, they're going to see that and they're going to want to work with you. Okay, stay organized. Manage my study schedule to fit consistent Excel practice. Honestly, the thing is, I don't really have a schedule. I just study. I do my assignments and I study. Do my assignments and I study. When I have free time, I do my assignments. I mean, class ends next week. Class ends August 8th and it's August 1st right now. And I got everything done. So avoid last minute cramming is the big thing here, right? If you learn something, because it's online, right, you feed yourself the information, do the assignments right after. You can't wait. It's not like in person where you can just kind of take your dear sweet time. No, you have to literally stay on top of it and babysit yourself to make sure you don't get distracted, you don't fall into a pigeonhole of comfort and then because that's what happens, right? You think, oh, I'm okay, I'm fine, or you know what, I got time. Well, I said that 4 weeks ago, and now I only have a week left. So time definitely moves fast, trust me. And then the summary, I combine steady practice, resourcefulness, and discipline. Yep, that's exactly it. You have to stay disciplined. Working full time as well. I mean, I'm saving up money to pay for my tuition. And over the summer, because I'm going to be working reduced hours coming fall, right? Because I want to put school first, my employer is letting me do that. Because of that, I'm working my tail off now, scheduled 40 hours a week or more if possible, right? Because then I can actually save up more money and then pay for tuition, right? I mean, we all got bills to pay. I got rent, I got my car insurance, I got my car registration, I got a ton of stuff, I got tuition. And so, being single and having no kids obviously helps a lot. But I mean, we all have things that we have to focus on, that we have to throw money at and pay for bills. So it's not just with this class, it's with everything. You know what I mean? If you have the discipline, paying bills on time and going to work every day, chances are you're going to be fine with this. But like I said, I used to not be like this. And so my GPA is at like a 2.76 right now because I did really bad back then and I'm crawling myself out. So after this next semester, if I get good grades in my classes, which I'm going to work toward. I got A's in my classes fall semester, last fall, and then winter. I got an A in both A's in my English and Psych, which I have videos on. And then this, I just made a video and I got an A on this. So I'm going to be at a 2.84 GPA after this. And then once I get a 3.0, I can apply for a good student discount for my car insurance because I'm paying $100 a month for my car insurance, right? And so you just keep thinking, okay, next, what's my goal? Why am I doing this? Right? You use that motivation. And honestly, I get validation from this. I do. The fact that I keep getting A's when I used to get D's and F's is crazy. And it makes me happy. I mean, it gives me validation. It makes me feel important. You have to be honest with yourself, right? Nobody wants to say, oh, yeah, this gives me validation or but it's true. You have to be honest with yourself. And in all honesty, I really like school because I'm putting in the work and I'm seeing that reward. I'm seeing that effort pay off in real time. Right? It's not like work where you put in 2 weeks and you don't see your paycheck working every day until 2 weeks later, right? I mean, this is a direct impact on my effort that I put in, and it makes me feel good. No shame in that, right? So this is what I've done to stay focused online. It sucks. I hate it, but it's got to be done. There was no way I could have taken this in person. And like I said, if you care, your instructor will care. But you have to stay disciplined. You have to do all these things. Otherwise, you're going to fall out. And I actually saw an email from my instructor saying, those of you who are staying on top of assignments are doing great. Those of you who aren't doing the assignments are failing. I mean, literally, there were people who were failing, I guess, because they weren't practicing, they weren't paying attention. I mean, it's not that hard to pay attention. What's hard is to pay attention consistently, right? It's focusing on schoolwork isn't hard. Okay, school isn't hard when you're focusing on it one day. You have to focus on it for 8 weeks straight or 16 weeks straight, right? For fall semester and spring semester, I had no free time the entire four months, 16 weeks, and it gets rough after spring break. Oh my goodness, because you're tired, right? You're mentally tired. I would literally wake up at 8 a.m., do homework, 2 p.m. I go to work, get off at 10, stay up till midnight and do some work, and then repeat the cycle all over again. Work meaning homework if I needed to stay up and study. I mean, it's crazy. I was pulling 14, 15-hour days, and I didn't have any free time. The only free time I had was eating, going to the bathroom, and hygiene, brushing, showering, all that stuff. And I did that for 8 weeks, and then spring break, I had off. And then I did it, you have the holidays too, but that's after fall semester's done. And so then, spring break was the only break you really get. Weekends, I was doing schoolwork. I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts, right? So doing it isn't hard. It's doing it consistently, and that is what matters, right? If you want to gain muscle, lose weight, right? You have to stay consistent. If you want to do good in school, the same concept applies, right? You gotta be consistent. My employer said, my team lead said, you work hard every day, so we're gonna let you put school first. It's great. Why? Because I was consistent. Consistency. This is what AI doesn't understand. It's not just consistent practice, it's consistent discipline. Consistent discipline will get you anywhere. Seriously. You have to put down the video games, you have to put down the distractions, and you have to be consistent. I miss Minecraft. I do. I do. I miss gaming hours and hours every day, but that, like I said, that doesn't get me anywhere, right? So you have to put those things off and stay consistent. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next vid.